Is it in? Are
Yep.
we live?
Hello, hello. Hey, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. Looks like we already got a few comments
Yep.
in here.
Good evening.
It's good to see everybody.
Hello on a very, very windy night. It is windy.
Yeah, it's terribly windy here. We hope everybody fared from those storms yesterday and last night pretty well. Luckily, right here around us, the storms got pretty bad, but it wasn't no more than a few fallen trees and stuff.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't too bad. It wasn't near as bad as it could have been, or as bad as some people had.
That's right. That's right.
Definitely deserve 40,000.
Oh,
plus.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's honestly mind blowing, y'all.
We can't believe it's almost there. I was just looking at it a while ago before we started this, and I mean it's not far.
When we started this channel way back when, I mean, I honestly just started it because I love to teach people, and I never thought it would really. I don't know. I was teaching people around here. I never thought it would actually ever amount to anything, but y'all don't know how much y'all bless my heart seeing all y'all sweet comments and everything. And hello, Miss Sharon. Miss Sharon, I think you're still a moderator in here, but I hope I got it fixed from last time, so maybe we won't have to worry about nothing like that.
Yeah, supposedly it's only subscribers only this time, so hopefully it doesn't end up like the
crazy people.
Yeah, it just jumped up to 60 people in here.
But yeah, we appreciate all y'all so much, and like we've told you in previous videos and stuff, we read every single comment. We may not be able to respond to every comment, just time constraints and whatnot, but we see every comment, and we just appreciate everybody's kind words on all the videos.
Yeah, I think
I'll cut that dryer off.
I thought I already cut it off. Every single question that we get, we try our best to answer in a comment, and but I tell you, it gets tough. You know, we used to try to answer every single one of them, and it's really got tough lately. There's Tommy Perkins. We hadn't seen him in a while.
Hey, buddy.
Which we hadn't had many lives.
Yeah, lately. We ain't done too many.
Fresno, hey, everybody. California. Wow.
Hello, hello.
Hello from Kentucky.
So I hope y'all caught the video this morning. It was something a little different, but Andy's sister lives right up the road from us here, and she milks goats, if y'all hadn't seen that. And I talked her into being on a video with me. She was talking about her milk goats, and I was talking about milk cows, and that's right up my alley.
Yeah. We keep trying to tell her. I know there was a lot of comments on that video saying that Abby, that's my sister's name, should start or wanting to know if she had a YouTube channel, and if she didn't, she should start one. And we've tried to talk her into it. I don't know if she ever will or not, but you know, I think she did do good. As Minnie Pearl said, howdy from Georgia.
Thank y'all. Hey, everybody. We hadn't said hey to you yet. Hello, hello.
It was a great video this morning.
It's awfully windy, and we got a lot of rain, so we I don't know, called it quits early this evening too, and we thought we'd just hop on here. I like the lives, you know, it's a little more personable, I think, anyway. And
well, I'll tell you about the wind. You know, I feel like the wind has blew all winter long here, hasn't it? But the last few months, I mean, the last few weeks, it has blew hard.
Yeah.
And I'm so daggone tired of wind that, like, this evening when we got home and done what had to be done outside, I mean, it was beautiful weather. Mm-hmm. It was absolutely gorgeous out there, but the wind was what felt like 100 miles an hour, and I was just like, I'm going inside. I'm done with it.
What part of NC are y'all in? So we're in like the foothills. We're like at the base of the Blue Ridge Mountains, right on the Virginia line.
Yes.
So we're not like far western North Carolina or anything. Love to be, but we ain't. Yeah. Yeah, we're right at the base of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Y'all just give us a second. We're just reading comments. Y'all are awesome. Love you. Thank y'all so much for y'all's kind words. Thank you. Thank you. I'm addicted
Thank
to the
you.
channel. Thank you, Sparta. No, we ain't too far from Sparta though. I used to do a lot of home health up that way.
Andy, tell your sister you'll eat a tomato sandwich if she starts it. I don't know if I want her to start one that bad or not.
I've tried for years, like to get him to eat a tomato sandwich. But I told him
everything else.
I told him he don't know what he's missing because they as good as a good steak.
Says how is Berry Hill doing? Berry Hill looks excellent right now.
We need to show them.
I would kind of like to do a sort of a tour video of everything that's growing right now and blooming and whatnot. But I was just sitting out there the other evening after I got done feeding and just looking across the apple trees and over towards what we call Berry Hill, and the blueberries are all blooming. The apple trees are all blooming. The peaches are still on the tree. We still have peaches on the trees.
Yeah, they're about as big as my thumbnail. So fingers crossed that we may actually. But funny thing is, like, so you're supposed to spray that stuff on for worms when they got the blooms on them.
Well,
so me and Andy talked about, we're not gonna waste time doing that because the frost is gonna bite it. Like, we're not so. They maybe eat up with worms, but maybe I'm just gonna eat.
I'd rather have a wormy peach than no peach.
Yep, that's right. So we'll just eat around the wormholes.
This will be what, the second, if we actually make peaches and pears this year.
Only the second time ever.
Yep, since those trees have been planted, this is only the second time we've ever got anything off of them.
Yeah, they're about as big as my thumbnail. I go out there and look at them about every day because I'm like, is it real? Are they still there?
And they said, how do you not like a tomato sandwich? I don't know. It's just
You ain't never tried one.
Honestly, I ain't. I've never eaten a raw tomato. Baz, I hate to admit that, but that's the truth.
He loves to grow them. Like, he is obsessed with growing tomatoes, but he don't eat them.
I can't get past the smell of a tomato. Like a raw, I don't know. I think they stink, but that's just me. I love everything made out of tomatoes, though.
Right, like the tomato products.
Yeah, but I don't care nothing about no tomato.
You ain't lived till you ate a tomato sandwich on lightly. I know that's right. That's right.
Maybe one of these days. They say the older you get, the more your taste change. And see, this year, I was not really a big pepper fan until this year. And for some reason or other, when we were picking peppers, they just smelled. It was so weird. Like, they smelled so much better than they normally did when we were picking them. I'm like, I really want to eat some of these. And so we started using peppers and everything. And this year we've got so many pepper seeds started that, like, we got more peppers to plant than we've ever had before. And I don't know why, but I got hooked on them.
Tommy said his Pazio beans are all come up and said he didn't have any that even skipped, and they're all up.
We haven't planted any yet. We probably won't be planting none of those for a little while.
And I think we need to plant a few more than we did last year because I only have, I think, 1 or 2 jars left.
Well, we're going to plant a long row down there in the bottom.
Yeah. So
I hope they do good down there.
Yeah. I love them. So I'm going to start cherishing those.
What we got here?
Salt shaker, fresh tomato. Yep. My husband and I were down to B&B in Cana today. We love going there. Oh, I love Cana. Yes. I was wondering if you ever make cottage cheese from your fresh milk. I haven't made any of this go around, but I did make some last year, and it was actually really good. I don't know why I hadn't made any this time. I just hadn't. I was watching announcements.
What does that comment mean? Oh, she deleted it.
Thank you, Miss Sharon.
That's what I was thinking, but
if you do, is it better than store-bought for the cottage cheese? It was really good. So the texture I thought was a little different than store-bought, but it was like the first time I'd ever made it. So it may have been something that I did. So I'm not really, I'm not sure if it was me or if it's just like that. The yogurt's the same way. Like, I feel like the texture of fresh yogurt is comparable to Greek yogurt, but then it's not. I don't know how to explain it, but I will tell y'all that fresh raw yogurt with nothing in it is so sour you can't hardly eat it. You have to put something in it to, give it some sweetness or something, because it is like stout. It is so stout. Oh, and I have a funny story for y'all while you're reading. Are you reading comments?
Yeah, I'm reading comments.
So, y'all, guess what? I never had this trouble with Belle. Belle was the cow I was milking last year. She's the light brown cow. So I never had this trouble with her. So I didn't think I'd have this trouble with Candy. But y'all always heard of cows getting wild onions. What happens? So we've got a little patch down the back corner of that pasture that always grows wild onions. Well, Bill was down there last year and never ever had a problem with the milk whatsoever. Y'all, apparently Candy loves wild onions because I was milking her the other day, which they're back up here now. We only let them stay out there for a few days, but I was milking her and I could smell it while I was milking her. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I told Andy that I'm going to have gourmet onion flavored butter.
Greg or Sheila won in here.
Hello. But yeah, so I got tickled, and y'all, so then the jar like sat overnight, those jars, and I opened them the next day, and I was like, maybe it like dissipated. When I opened that jar,
Knocked your head
it
off.
like knocked my head off. Yeah, just straight onions, and I was like, oh man. But luckily, I guess she either cleaned them all out or something. It only smelled like that for a couple of days.
You said it wasn't like that today.
No, so I guess she ate them all. Hey, Miss Sheila.
Yep, Sheila. I see she come.
And you might want to ease into the tomato sandwich with a BLT with your homegrown
Hey,
bacon.
well, I seen Breaking New Roots commented on here and said that the tomato fear is legit. That she loves ketchup, but the texture of the fresh tomato.
So, let us tell you about our new friends. Speaking of them, that we got to meet. It's been
Where's Melissa Sharp in here?
A couple of weeks ago. Hey, Miss Melissa.
That's the lady we get our pigs
That's
from.
exactly right, Melissa. The pigs are getting the onion milk.
Yeah, well, they love it.
But so, anyways, what was I getting? Oh, our new friends, Breaking New Roots. So they actually came out to the farm a couple weeks ago, and what they're doing, it's a husband and wife and their kids, and they're traveling the East Coast right now, and going around to different farms, big farms, small farms, and everything in between, and just talking to regular old people. And man, their videos, like, they're awesome. Like, they you learn a lot just hearing people's different opinions, like, on different things.
She had a man on there. I think it was not the last video they put out, but the one before that, talking about no-till gardening, and I found that one really interesting.
Yeah, they and it's so interesting to hear the different opinions of different folks and the way different people do different things. And we were lucky enough, they came out and did an interview with us, so that video will be coming out pretty soon. Y'all are very special.
I don't know about all that.
I'm gonna try to figure out how to put a link in here.
Yeah, I think most of her videos are of like legit farms that are selling their products and stuff like that. If I'm not mistaken, she may correct me if I'm wrong.
But it's
I think we were the first like homestead.
It's really it's really something I think y'all would thoroughly enjoy and learn from. I think that.
What are you trying to do?
I was gonna put a link to their channel.
Oh.
Y'all, I am so like. I used to think I was good at. I used to think I was so good at technology. Like back when technology first came out, and like I was like, these older people, they don't know how to do Facebook and stuff. Well, now I feel like I'm the older people because now technology has gotten smarter than me.
Yeah.
So
let's see. I see one right here. Andy, are there any kinds of berry bushes that produce well in partial shade? So I'm gonna, blueberries are supposed to be in full sun. However, our blueberries are not in full sun. They do get quite a bit of sun, but for the most part, they're not in full sun. But I have a customer of mine who has a huge blueberry bush in her yard that is planted right under a big maple tree. It's like almost like a hedgerow. And at the very end of the hedgerow, so it only gets probably maybe an hour or two of full sun at the very end of the day. And y'all, that thing is way over my head, and every year is absolutely loaded with blueberries. And it's a beautiful bush. That one bush, you can probably pick enough blueberries to, you can fill up buckets of blueberries off of that one bush each time. But, it always amazes me how, like, it's an older bush, it's an older, like an older farmhouse, and that thing's been there for, gosh, who knows how long. It may have been there for 50 years or more. But
that's the one we went and picked.
Yeah, that's the one we went and picked off of before ours got big enough to pick. And it's amazing how well that blueberry does underneath the shade tree. So, I say just because something tells you it has to be in full sun, if you don't have anywhere else to plant it, go ahead and try it somewhere else, and you never know until you try. The worst thing can happen is it doesn't produce anything. Lord have mercy, the questions are coming in. I'm gonna have to go back up here.
Yeah, y'all just bear with us. Where'd it go? Because I put it on there. Oh, no, I didn't.
All right, here we go.
All right, so I just posted Breaking New Roots link to their channel. Like I said, I think y'all will thoroughly enjoy that.
Oh, they say, what is that popped up? But that's what you done.
It was me.
What is a good chicken that's good for eggs and meat? I don't know the answer to that one. Is those Breeze chickens? Are they egg and meat chickens?
I don't have any experience with them, but them barred rocks are supposed to be multi-purpose.
Yeah, we've never done much with a multi-purpose chicken. We grow one for meat and we grow one for eggs.
And if we have an extra rooster or something that's mean, then yeah, he goes. But we've never done it on purpose.
You know, technically back in the older days, there wasn't no such thing as a meat chicken. Egg chicken was your meat chicken.
Right.
I mean, that's what you eat. But you just don't get those big, huge breasts, and it's mostly all dark meat.
Right, and the texture's a little different. So, like,
I'd say they're tougher.
Older roosters, you have to cook them a little different.
They make good stew chickens.
Yeah, I got one out there right now. It needs to go. But yeah, I wish I had good advice for that. They say those barred rocks are good multi-purpose, but we didn't process any of those. I got rid of them things. Remember them? Those were some of the chickens that never the barred rocks. They flew out all the time.
Oh, yeah,
like we got rid of them. They didn't get to stay too long. But
y'all need to come out with a cookbook. She needs to come out with a new cookbook.
I know.
Now, in case you don't know, she does have a cookbook on Amazon. But it's time for a new one. That one is several years old.
Yes. I would love to. It is it's very intimidating. And I have a certain way that I want to write it, and I've just got to sit down and do it. I've just got to sit down and do it. I just got to do it.
And time's not something we have a lot of right now anyways.
Yep, I just got to do it.
There's a lot of things that we really need to be doing, and I don't know where the time goes, especially working all the time, and then you come home and try to get stuff done.
Yes, Golden Comets. Now, I've had several of them throughout the years, and I always loved them Golden Comets, and they lay really good. Remember, them was some of the first ones we ever had was Golden Comets.
Yeah,
and
I remember those.
They laid.
Was that
no?
That was the ones we had that were mean. Those were the big fluffy ones, wasn't they?
They weren't mean. They were just not nice.
Well, we had one time. I'm pretty sure the Golden Comets is the ones that wouldn't go up every night, wasn't it?
I thought it was them fluffy chickens.
What was the Golden Comets then?
The
Golden Comets were the good ones we had.
They were really good, right?
Yeah, I remember those now. Yeah,
I can't remember what the name of them other ones were. They were fluffy chickens, and they were terrible.
And we had some Isa Browns one time. And
yeah, they were
some
good.
Really good chickens.
That's what my rooster is. My big, pretty rooster that y'all may, I don't know if you noticed him or not. He's got the big white tail feathers, but he's kind of tan. He's an Isa Brown. He was supposed to be a hen.
Let's see here. I seen a comment a while ago and only caught part of it before it went away.
Yeah, if we miss your question, I'm so sorry. We are trying our best to keep up. And y'all, if you're just now joining, we just want to say thank you so much for your support. And we do, in the YouTube videos and stuff, we do read all the comments. We may not be able to respond to every single one. We do try our best to respond to especially questions. But just know that your kind words are so appreciated and encouraging to us, to keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on, just like we told y'all before. Last year, matter of fact, about a year ago, roughly, it was about to go away. Yep.
And between comments from people and other little things that we decided to keep on with it, and my goodness, I'm glad we did. There was a question here I was actually fixing to answer and I forgot. Where did it go?
Yep, y'all just bear with us.
Go back up just a little bit. Up a little more. I don't know. There's one other thing I want to talk about while we're talking about subscribers.
Thank you for sharing that, Miss Sharon. Thank you.
There's been a lot of comments saying that they have been unsubscribed from the channel. And, we ain't usually ones to ask anybody to subscribe or anything like that. I mean, you probably noticed that I don't know if there's a video at all unless it was very early on of us asking somebody to subscribe to the channel or like or anything like that. But there's been a lot of people saying that they've been unsubscribed. So if you are subscribed to the channel, check it and make sure that you're subscribed, because I find that interesting. But we're not the only channel I hear that on. I hear that from a lot of channels, especially
if it's just like a technical glitch.
And it may be a technical glitch. I ain't saying that YouTube's unsubscribing or nothing like that, because I don't know that I believe in all that mess. But it's probably technicalities. But just check it out if just to make sure. Look, he said, I'll do it for y'all. Like and subscribe.
We appreciate that.
I think that's the hard thing about all of it. Like, we've never been the type of person to ask somebody to do something.
Like, in the few videos that you do hear me say it, like, I'm like, I just don't feel right saying that, because you know what?
Makes you feel guilty.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, people's going to do what they want to do. If they want to subscribe to your channel and like the video, they're going to do it whether you tell them to or not.
That's kind of what I feel about it.
So I just...
Like, if you watch a video and you like the people and you like the video, well, you're just naturally going to subscribe, and you're naturally going to comment. You're naturally going to hit the like button.
Right.
If you don't like it, then you ain't going to subscribe.
And that's okay. I mean, I understand. Like, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. That's the way it is.
Look.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Cream leg bars are our favorite birds. I've heard of cream leg bars, but we've never had any of those. Never had any of those. Tractor Supply was hopping and popping with some chicks this evening. Had to go up there and get some things. Y'all are my main. Thank you, Tommy. Keith raises American breasted chickens.
Tommy, I feel sorry for you if we're your main source of knowledge.
So for those of you that may not know, and some of y'all have been around for a while, y'all know. But so Andy and I both, like, we kind of grew up like this, y'all. We were blessed with this lifestyle, and this is Andy's grandpa's house. I grew up about 15 minutes down the road. Families have been here for generations. And we're in a very rural part of North Carolina where a lot of people live this way. Maybe not as many anymore, but it
used to be a lot.
We were, Andy more so than me, were raised this way. And, until really me and him started going out as adults to the bigger cities to work and things like that, we never really thought much of it. And actually a lady that I used to work with, she was like, please, you've got to start recording this stuff and put it on YouTube. If nobody else watches you, I will watch you. Because that's stuff that my grandpa used to do. Yeah. And I would love to, see y'all do it. And so I guess that what I'm trying to say is maybe we were homesteaders before homesteading was cool.
Yeah, well, I say, we did like a lot of people, though. When 2020 come around,
we ramped it up.
We did step it up a lot.
Yeah.
And, I think it was in 2019. I never even realized that in 2019, we grew every single meat, that we ate except for chicken. And I think I run across a video on YouTube of a man growing. Matter of fact, I think it was a Stony Ridge farmer. He was growing meat chickens and had them, in his mobile tractor, just like what we have. And I was like, well, where in the world did he buy the meat chickens? At that time, I didn't even know you could order chicks online and get them shipped to you in the mail. When I found that out, I was like, there's no way that they really ship chicks in the mail.
Right.
And I remember the very first time we went to the post office and picked up chicks.
We just knew they were all going to be dead.
That was so crazy. But y'all, after we done that, we started growing our own chicken. And at this point, like, we don't buy meat, period. Like, if we eat a piece of meat, it was grew here, unless we're out at a restaurant or something like that. Now we do go to restaurants, but if we're at home and we eat a piece of meat, it's a piece of meat that we grew. And I never even knew though that you could grow a meat chicken in your backyard, because I just thought of that as like being a commercial type thing, like commercial farming. Like, I didn't realize that we had access to buy chicks like that.
But you know, I guess once you realize, and I think my biggest thing was seeing that people wanted to learn, like the people even here, like that I was working with and stuff, you know, they wanted to learn or they wanted those memories to come back. And I think we just decided we wanted to start sharing that with folks.
I said my great grandpa used to get 250 chicks in the mail back in the 60s. That's
Really?
crazy. So see around here,
that is so crazy.
Everybody, I mean, if you ever bought chicks anywhere, you went to the local feed store and they'd have chicks in there in your water troughs. And I mean, it's been that way since as long as I can remember. And that's the only place I ever remember seeing chicks, which now that I think about it, I'm sure they went, they come to them in the mail. And so I guess I never realized that an actual, regular consumer could go and just order chicks in the mail.
It says, amazing how you two plan out your day. You never know what exciting things we may see. The kids being involved is a must. What an education they must be getting. Wonderful. So, and that's one thing, of course, on the videos, you see them helping us a lot, and they do. They help us so much around here. But then they're also kids too. There's some days that you're like, you're gonna go do this. Like,
oh, you're talking about our kids?
This is your chore. So,
oh yeah.
But now I'm gonna tell y'all. Today we went on a little day trip today, and when we got back, neither one of them said a word. They went straight. Maggie went and took care of the chickens. Jacob went and took care of the cows, minus the milking cow, and never said a word. They got straight out of the truck and went to it, didn't they?
Yep.
And that's all. That's all we can ask for. I'm so proud of them, and I tell them all the time, like, we couldn't do this without y'all. There's so much help. Like
they really are, and I think it's a shame anymore because some people say they can't do something because of their kids. Well, in our case, we can't do it without our kids.
Yep, that's right.
Because they help. I mean, they put up they do so much work. And like she said, sometimes it's a struggle. Sometimes it's like pulling teeth to get them to do it. But that's the thing is we kind of try to stay like in a routine with them and keep them on this little routine of doing it. And like she said, when we got home today, they jumped out of the truck and they went to work.
Do you grind your own homegrown corn for meal and your flour? So yes, I don't necessarily do it for flour, but for cornmeal, we do grind it. If I make cornbread, I don't make it a ton. I need to actually do some more cornbread recipes because I haven't done any lately.
You haven't done one at all. Really.
But
right there's a question I was actually wanting to talk about tonight, so I'll get to that when you get done with yours.
Okay. But yeah, but I'm gonna tell y'all that home milled cornmeal.
It's amazing.
Man, it is so good. If you like the taste of corn, like I've never had anything that tasted like it, honestly. But I was trying to perfect, the recipe because cooking with fresh cornmeal, at least for me anyway, was so much different than cooking with the store-bought stuff. The texture, I guess, maybe is different. I don't know. But anyways, it's not self-rising. Most cornmeal anymore is self-rising. So that's what I was struggling with. But I think that very last cornbread recipe y'all saw me do a while back, man, that was on point. It was good.
It was the best you've done so far.
It was good.
So somebody just asked, it's done scrolled by now, about our seed starts and what we plan on putting in the ground next. Well, actually, this weekend, fingers crossed, if nothing changes, because we have a long stretch of warm weather ahead of us here, I truly think that winter is over with. But, there is still a chance we could get a frost or something like that towards, because April's still here. But, I think this weekend we're not going to actually plant our big garden just yet, but we're going to put a few tomatoes in the ground, and I'm hoping that I can plant my sweet corn this weekend, and which y'all will be seeing that because I'm sure it'll be on video. But that's what I'm hoping for. It rained last night, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to work the ground yet or not, but as much as the wind is blue, I think it's going to dry out enough that I can. But, yeah, I'm hoping to get sweet corn in the ground. And
yep, the dogwoods are blooming.
We've got some, yeah. Now that was always our old saying:
Yep.
the dogwoods are blooming, and when the dogwoods are blooming, it's time to plant corn. And they're in full bloom right now.
Yep.
They're a little bit early because it's only what, April 12th. Yeah, they're not too bad early because we're almost halfway through April.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was always an old saying: when dogwoods are blooming, it's time to plant corn. And so, I think I'm at least going to try to get my sweet corn planted this weekend because my field corn, I don't have those places ready yet, and it's just been so wet I ain't been able to do it. And I hope that I can get started on that this weekend as well.
Yep, and we do plant Honey Select, and we tried Serendipity last year, and
we
they
like
were
the Serendipity too.
It was equally as delicious as the Honey Select. So I guess we'll be planting both of those.
We'll probably, so this year we're only planting sweet corn up here in the big garden at the house that's fenced in, because we had such trouble last year with the coons across the creek. So my plan is I'm going to plant me a decent sized patch of sweet corn here at the beginning of the year. And if I get it planted early, typically we can actually harvest that sweet corn and try to get a crop in behind it. Or if nothing else, find an open spot and plant a crop in. If I can have it planted by July 4th, I have time to harvest the next crop. So anyways, I'm hoping to get 2 rotations of sweet corn in this year. And we'll plant Honey Select probably the first go around, and the next go around will be Serendipity because we still have seed from both.
Yep.
I've heard about the incredible sweet corn being good. We've never tried that though.
No, I don't know where I guess you could order some.
House has it, but you can't buy it nowhere at a local hardware store.
Hey, everybody just joining. Hello.
Yeah, we've almost got 300 people in here.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. We appreciate all your kind words, and we're trying not to miss any questions that you may have, but we do appreciate y'all supporting our channel and watching the videos. Man, y'all just bless our heart. I tell you, it just...
There's a good one. How much maintenance do you put into your tractors and equipment? Well, the ones that get used all the time, I stay on top of it. Some of my older tractors that, are just pretty much here for nostalgia reasons. I don't stay on top of it quite as much, but at the same time, they don't get used as much either. But now my big John Deere and that little Kubota that y'all see in all the videos, like, I really need to change oil in that little Kubota right now. It's actually past due, but I usually stay pretty timely on those.
Man, that little Kubota, well, I know y'all noticed, like, it's in about every video ever since that's a handy little thing. I will just tell you.
It is.
It is one handy little thing, and we can do just about anything we need to do with it.
If we didn't make hay and we didn't plant the field corn,
right,
we wouldn't need
right here around
tractor.
the house. Yeah.
Everything that we do right here at the house could be done with that tractor.
Yep. It's real entertaining to see Andy trying to go through the mud with it, toting a big old 6x6 hay roll.
Like today. The daggone front tire on it was flat. I didn't know it, and I'm toting the hay roll down through the field, and I happened to look down. I'm like, why is my front wheel tearing the ground up so much? And the dang thing was off the rim. Fortunately, it didn't roll it completely off the rim. It just busted it loose. So all I had to do was pick the front of the tractor up with the loader and put air back in it. But it surprised me. I don't know why the tire was flat, and I didn't see no hole in it. I didn't see no nails or nothing like that.
Bear Truth wants to know you want to sell the brown Ford truck.
That was actually my grandpa's truck. I got a lot of fond memories in that truck, and it really needs to be fixed. But so my grandpa, talking about maintenance, was never one to maintenance something the way he should have. And that truck, the oil went so long without being changed that me and him, we were on our way home from school. He picked me up at school. He actually picked me up from school till the day I turned 16 when I got my driver's license. But anyways, that's another story. But we were on our way home one day, and it actually lost oil pressure. And it was because the oil had gotten so nasty in it, it stopped the screen up on the bottom of the oil pump. Well, long story short, he had it fixed and whatever. Well, for some reason or another, something now has actually got stuck back on the screen of the oil pump, and it's lost oil pressure. and I just haven't had time to fix it. And it's another one of those things that's at the bottom of the priority list.
A funny story that I like to tell everybody about that brown truck is it the brake lines that make that noise?
The brake booster has a hole in it.
It goes,
and as you're riding down the road,
loud.
It's constantly just hissing at you. Grandpa never heard it. Never once heard it. You can tell him all the time, like, Grandpa, something's wrong with this truck. We got to fix it. No, I don't hear nothing wrong with it. He never did hear that hissing noise, but it was loud.
It's so loud. He get plumb mad. He say he's crazy. What nothing wrong with that truck? Let's see. How are land prices out there? Say ballpark 40 acres. So land prices here have went
through the roof.
Crazy. I mean, it may not be crazy compared to other places, but we're in a real rural area. Like, people don't make a lot of money around here. I'm just gonna say it like it is. Because
years ago,
compared to California, we'll make nothing.
I will tell you this. But before 2020, you could buy land. You could buy good land, nice farms for the $3,000 to $4,000 an acre, and that was actually what we kind of thought was high, but it was
that was on the high side.
I'm talking like good pieces of land that had timber on them, nice land, and now it's nothing to see a tract of land sell for $10,000 an acre, and
at least.
That's scary.
And if it's on a creek or a river, you better add 5,000 more an acre to it. Ain't it?
Yeah. I mean, the only way you're going to get a good deal on land around here now is if you know somebody who's got land and they're willing to sell it to somebody local because they want to see somebody local keep the land. That's really the only way you're going to find a decent deal.
We got really lucky with this land up there where our potatoes are planted. It's up the road here. We bought that before things went crazy.
We bought it at the very beginning of COVID.
I mean, back then we were like, well, it's a little steep, but we really want it because it connects to his daddy's place and everything. And now we look back and we're like,
we're so glad we bought it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Somebody was asking what you were planning on doing with your milled wood. I don't know where it went, but the wood they saw you mill. What's your plans?
Oh, I wonder which one. The last wood we milled, I'm planning on building us a new chicken tractor, and like a chicken tractor for the egg chickens. And then I'm also wanting to build an equipment shed down here.
Sweet, Tommy, that's a good deal.
And that's what part of the lumber's going to too. I don't know when that's going to be because now we're in springtime, and it's busy. So that's liable to be next winter before that actually gets done. But that is in the plans.
Bear Tree said, how about the red and white one? My grandson is looking for one. Just asking.
That old red and white one, that one really needs to be fixed. Well, y'all, I got a bunch of junk around here that needs to be fixed.
And you don't get rid of stuff. Like, when Andy buys it, it's here to live for a little while and then possibly die and maybe come back to life eventually.
The funny thing is just like that lawnmower me and Jacob fixed up.
That's true.
5 years ago when I set it over in the edge of the woods, I said I'll never do anything else with that lawnmower again. I'm just going to set it there in case we need it for parts. Well, then here 5 years later,
you pulled it out.
Me and Jacob pulled it out. We have got that thing running and we've got it mowing, and that's just what I do. I mean, y'all only see half of the collection of old vehicles I got. The rest of them are down at my mom and daddy's. And I've got several down there of old junk vehicles that at one time were running and I was driving. But I told somebody the other day that some of my biggest regrets in life were selling vehicles that I don't have. I mean, selling some of my vehicles.
You sold what, 2 in your life?
I've sold 2 vehicles in my life, and both of those trucks, I wish I still had them.
Still, like, all the time. He's like, I should have never sold them.
I get a connection with my vehicles. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Oh, me.
There's old JT West. I just watched your video this evening of disking the garden. Or disking your corn land. I'm sorry.
He's looking forward to seeing that offset Kubota.
I'm looking forward to seeing it in action, too. I think I'm going to use it this weekend to plow through the potatoes. I'm going to put the scratchers on it.
Are you?
Yeah, I think that's the one I'm going to plow with.
Land here in Tennessee has skyrocketed the last few years. People from other states are driving up the price. So that's kind of what's happening here. And I guess it's happening to all rural communities. It's kind of like,
the internet.
Well, yeah, the internet.
Years ago, you couldn't find a piece of land for sale because, it was only for sale to people in the community because nobody else knew about it unless you were just driving through because there was a for sale sign stuck there. And, it was not advertised on the internet.
Right.
And now the internet reaches the whole world. And I don't mean it in a bad way. I can completely understand why people would want to move from places and move to the city.
Move from the city.
Move from the city. But at the same time, it's took a negative effect on rural America because the people who have been here usually don't have that high paying jobs, and so they can't afford to buy this high priced land.
There's no way we could buy land for $10,000 an acre.
No. And well, see what it does is, your people who've been here for generations, it kind of roots them out because at that point they can't afford to buy the land anymore. And so what are they left to do?
And then it's left to the family, and then family don't care much about it. Yeah. They're like, I can get $3 million for Papa's farm, so that's what I'm gonna do.
I think that's the worst part of it all.
And I ain't trying to be ugly or nothing, but that's just how it is. Unfortunately, around here anyway.
Yeah, I hate to see it, but I see family land getting sold off all the time. That's been in families for generations, and then the kids or the grandkids inherited, and they don't want nothing to do with it. They don't care nothing about it, and they just don't want to deal with it. And so they sell it for a premium price. They would rather sell it to somebody from out of town and get a premium price than they had sell it to somebody local who could use the land. And that's just the way it is.
People from out of town ain't gonna use it.
I know, and I don't mean that badly,
right.
But that's just how it is.
Right, it's just the way it is. Yeah.
I don't mean it bad at all, but.
Well, it sounds like it's everywhere because right here, I seen somebody say Tennessee land skyrocketed, Arkansas's land skyrocketed. I guess it's just everywhere.
All of the whole country.
Yeah, it's just everywhere. Somebody said all the land in the South has skyrocketed. Do y'all ever worry about snakes in the garden, especially with the children picking the crops? So
no,
we
don't. But we understand why some people wonder.
Yeah, now that we've been down south,
we understand why people want to know. I mean, why people ask us all the time if we're scared of snakes. Because we're lucky. Like we have just a few poisonous snakes around here. Really, a copperhead's the biggest one.
Yeah.
And even I don't think I've ever seen a copperhead up here. Now I've seen them down at my mom and daddy's house, but I've never seen.
The cats probably help with that.
The cats? Yeah, they probably do.
Snakes.
But I'll see black snakes and stuff around up here, and they don't mess with those.
Yeah, mainly that's all we see up here, black snakes, little garden snakes. But no, it's just not something we don't. It's not like there's a pile of them here or anything. And most of them are out in the woods. And if you see a snake, most of the time it's laying on a rock up on the hillside in the middle of the woods somewhere or something. You might occasionally see one coming through the yard, but very rarely. And funny story around here anyway. So there's a big river not far from here, and there's rattlesnakes
on the other side of the river
on this mountain that you can see in some of our videos. There's rattlesnakes over there, and they say the rattlesnakes won't cross that river. And sure enough, like if you go to the other side of the river, there are rattlesnakes over there. But if you're on this side of the river, there ain't none.
Right there is the comment exactly what I mean by what I said a while ago. What's sad is people are buying up land and putting housing developments and apartments on it, and that is exactly right. I don't mind seeing somebody from out of town come in and buy land and use it for what land is anticipated to use it for. But I absolutely hate seeing these developers and stuff come in and buy up these nice, beautiful, beautiful farms, and they get split up into little quarter-acre lots and put hundreds of houses on it. And it's happening just on the other side of the mountain over here towards King. Like all around King used to be full of beautiful farmland, and it's awful. I mean, it really is. I understand people got to have somewhere to live, but my goodness, you got to live right on top of each other like that.
Right. I've seen 2 copperheads in my garden during the last month. Woo.
But the sad thing is once it's gone, it's gone. You can't get it back. Unless we went in and tore down all the houses, and I don't think that's going to happen. But I seen another one on here that said, so is Andy a gearhead. And I used to be a lot bigger gearhead than I am now. When I was in high school, I was big time. Like I was working on my truck all the time. Like that was my hobby, was working on my truck.
And guess what? Guess what our date nights consisted of? Me sitting there watching him work on his truck.
Yep, they really did.
Yep, sure did.
I mean those days are gone because I don't know. I got into more things that I had to get done, but
houses lined up like shoeboxes in every direction. Yes, and they're all like cookie cutter.
They all look the same too. Right there at Solar Farms. So that's, we do have some solar farms around here, but that one hadn't really got us hard yet.
Now they getting ready to put one in Patrick County.
Are they?
Mm-hmm. They just approved it.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I think it's like 300 some acres. Yep. So I don't know. We don't have much experience like with that, but I've heard mixed reviews on the solar farms.
The old saying around here, well, the new saying that's going on around here now is all of our fields used to grow tobacco, and now all they grow is houses anymore, and that's
when you
that's
see
a sad
comment
truth.
That you would like to share, take your cursor, put it on the comment, and left click. It will pop up on the screen.
Huh? Didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. We'll have to try that. Try being 8th generation Florida.
Oh my goodness.
We can't afford land anymore. What?
Sparksville, we're talking about Blues Creek and all that, how that's grew up out there. That is awful.
Yeah. Yeah, if y'all hadn't checked out our buddy over at Sparks Forge and Farm, he's our good neighbor and friend right over here. And he's the one that made us our custom knives and stuff that you've seen in a lot of the videos. So y'all be sure to check out his channel as well. He actually does a lot of like live forging when he's making his tools and stuff, and it is way cool. So y'all be sure to check him out. I could never live in the city in a cookie cutter development. I got to have my piece.
This one right here could never live somewhere right beside of somebody because she's constantly like, what are they doing? Wonder what they're doing over there.
I don't even have neighbors. And like if the same car rides past my house 3 times, I'm like, what are they doing?
What are they doing? What are they up to?
Who is that? Yeah, I'd never get anything done. Trying to figure out what other people are doing.
Andy, I hate to admit it, but I rebuilt the carburetor in the laundry sink. My wife was not happy, but that probably makes a really good place
Don't
to
get
do
no idea. Don't be giving him no idea.
As far as the solar fields go, you would think that they would put those solar panels high enough that you could at least graze an animal under them or something.
Thank you for sharing that, Miss Sharon.
But they you're right. When a piece of land turns into a solar farm, it's done. Like it's a waste and it's ugly, but whatever. It's our green energy, I guess.
Look at this one. Gail said, land in mid-NC has just gone wild. We're about 35 miles southeast of Charlotte. Realtors every week trying to buy our land for housing developments. Our land has been in the husband's family 6 generations. Ain't that something? Wow.
So have y'all heard the Justin Moore song about This Is My Dirt? Y'all, if you haven't, you should listen to it because that's exactly pretty much what that song's about.
Let's see. My nearest neighbor's about 1.5 miles. I like my junk and stuff.
Carved kitchen table.
You're just about to have to check on people like that these days.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Megan needs a milk stool. Megan has a milk stool, and Megan won't use her milk stool.
Yep, it's all Megan. I know. I was thinking about taking it down there. I just ain't done it yet. She's been doing really good. Well, except for what was that day before yesterday? Because the reason I've been squatting is because I can move a lot faster, like to get out of the way. So that's why I was squatting, which it looks uncomfortable. It looks actually more uncomfortable than what it is on video. Especially if she's standing the right way. Now, if she's not standing the right way, it's not very comfortable. But day before yesterday, she's been doing great for weeks. And she picked her darn foot up and knocked my bucket of milk over. And I was like, what? I mean, did I make you mad today? I don't know what happened, but it's like them cows. Like I told Andy, I said, I swear I think they can see like underneath them. Because Belle used to do that. She would know exactly where to put her foot for her foot to go into the bucket. And so yeah, Candy pulled that on me the other day. But yeah, I've got a milking stool, but
Tommy Ferguson said commercials in a live
I just gotta
I don't know. Did a commercial come across the live chat? If it did, we didn't have nothing to do with it.
Well, the thing says something about I can't remember what it said. I don't know. YouTube automatically sets it on there.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ad rolls, but I don't know when it's supposed to put it in there. I'm sorry. But anyways, yes. So I was thinking about taking my stool is up here, and I need to tote it down there. I just need to do it. But squatting is not that bad. It's good. Good thigh exercise.
Right there. When you're outside, why is Andy always dressed like it's wintertime and the kids are short? Because it is wintertime, but our kids don't think it's cold. And I freeze to death. I've been freezing all day today.
Andy can't stand. So the thing is, Andy can't stand for his ears to get cold.
I'll be sick for a week.
Yeah. So even if he's out there in a t-shirt,
sometimes you may see me with a hat. I mean, a snookin' on my head.
Yeah, even with a t-shirt. But yeah, it's like he can't. Especially if the air's moving. And like we told y'all, the wind's been blowing like all winter. So he can't stand for his head to get cold. So that's why he's wrapped up like it's negative 20 outside. It cracks me up.
I know. Our kids are tough as nails. They don't feel no cold weather. They run around barefooted. But Maggie would never go in shoes ever if we didn't make her wear shoes.
I put shoes on them.
And usually the shoes end up off.
Then
after they leave our sight.
Yeah. Once they go outside playing, and then I look up there and I'm like, where are your shoes? Where's your coat?
But the bad part is even now when it gets hot, then I'll be burning up. It's like one extreme to the other. My ideal temperature is like 70 degrees. 70 to 75 degrees, man. I could handle that all year long.
Put some clothespins on your ears when it's cold.
Where'd you see that?
Right there. Building their immune systems up. That's right. That's right.
They are doing.
And I mean, my thing is like, some people probably frown upon this, but they got enough sense to know if they're cold.
Well, you would think they would anyways.
I mean, well, they do. They will. They've told me before, and I'm like,
Jacob's a lot more cold-natured than Maggie, though. Maggie don't get cold, does she?
She says she don't.
Yeah, maybe
she would fall over before she told me she was cold.
You're probably right.
But I do make them put shoes and coats on. It's just once they're out of my sight, like it's like that's the first thing they do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go up there and choose my battles.
I think that's something. I don't know if y'all watched Hoss's show last night on YouTube, but they were talking about a lot of the mental benefits of gardening and stuff like that. And I think this year, it kind of sounds crazy, but at the same time, it makes sense. But I think I'm going to go barefoot a lot more in the garden this year myself. I tried that one time. It was been like 2 years ago.
Now, see, I'm one, I guess this is where Maggie got it from. Like, when it starts warming up outside, I don't wear shoes.
Yeah, you don't wear shoes, so it's nothing to you. But I'm like, my feet, I can't hardly stand to walk across the floor in the house here barefoot because my feet are so tender. But I'm going to see if I can't do it more this year and actually go barefoot and see how that works out for me.
It's wonderful. Now, I'm going to tell you, though, you get up there in that cornfield with that hard red clay.
I'm not walking up there barefoot.
After it has rained real hard and then the wind started blowing, you can't walk on that. It's like walking on boulders.
Yeah, I'm not going barefoot up there. That ain't happening.
Somebody asked if we homeschool the kids. Yes, they are. Yes. They are homeschooled. Best decision I ever made. Do you have any Hickory King for sale?
We don't. We don't have no purebred Hickory King anymore. Every bit of it's been crossed up with that. Which, if you haven't seen our older corn videos, I kind of got my own little crossbreeded corn going on, or cross-pollinated, not crossbreeded, cross-pollinated corn going on, and I keep replanting that every year and just kind of seeing how it goes with that. Which it is a mixture of Hickory King and Jimmy Red, but everybody's saying ground is good for the body.
That's what they say.
Well, we're gonna find out. We're gonna see if it makes this. Well, see,
I was
better.
Always Maggie when I was a little girl, and I'm still that way. So maybe that's.
So I went barefoot when I was a kid up until I stepped in a bumblebee's nest in the ground. We were getting up hay one day, and after that, I wore shoes. Do you fertilize the garlics and onions? Yes, we do. The garlic doesn't take, well, at least in our experience, the garlic doesn't need quite as much fertilizer as your onions do. However, up until a few years ago, I had never really grew a decent-sized bulbed onion, until I learned that onions were heavy feeders, just like corn is. And so y'all know we'll hear us talk about our compost and stuff all the time. Onions is one thing that we actually do use bagged fertilizer on because we want that instant punch from the fertilizer. Like we use compost on a lot of the stuff in the garden, but our onions and corn will both get like your regular bagged synthetic fertilizer just so you can get that extra punch to get them to going.
But now I'm gonna tell y'all, that chicken manure, we put straight hot chicken manure on that sweet corn last year. You remember that?
Yeah, that corn we had in the yard, and it done good
Buddy.
too. But you just got to have a lot of chicken manure.
Yeah, we got a lot of chickens.
Yeah, and most I'll say this because we have a lot of questions about fertilizer, and if you see something up here that's in our house, around our yard, the raised beds, the garden out here at the house, any of these beds that we have out here in the yard that are the no-till beds, most of this stuff up here gets fertilized with compost. Now, if you see us working in the bigger fields where we're using the tractors and stuff to plant, we're working the land with the tractor, for the most part, just about every bit of that gets something like 10, 10, 10, or really whatever I can get my hands on. Just simply because like we don't have enough compost and stuff to do that. There's no way I could probably even create enough compost to plant a couple acres of corn and all that stuff. So that still gets synthetic fertilizer, and we still do the cover crops on those, which help as well. But it's not like using straight compost.
Amanda asked, what times do you fertilize the onions?
Well, I will take, when I plant my onions, if we're talking about onion starts, onions that are, when you plant them, they're already got the green on them. Now, onion sets, I'll do a little different. But onion starts, I will plant, wait for them to start having some new growth so you know that they're starting to take root, and then I'll throw some fertilizer by them. And then as they grow and start, getting bigger, I'll fertilize them one more time, just like a light fertilizing. Because our ground out here does have compost mixed in with it as well. So, I mean, it's already fairly rich. But once the onion starts making a bulb, you don't want to fertilize after that. You quit at that point. So once you notice right around the top of the onion, at the ground, if you see that bulb starting to make, you know that you don't need to put no more fertilizer on it after that.
And Stephanie asked, how do we keep our onions? So I do the onion braids. And so I just make me a big long braid of onions after I let them cure for like a week and try to dry out a little bit. And I just make a braid, and I actually hang them here in the kitchen. I tried hanging them in my basement. I think it's a little too damp down there in the root cellar. They didn't keep very well, but they keep really good. In my kitchen, they'll keep, if we harvest them like late summer, early fall, they'll last me all winter. They keep pretty good. So that's how
they've kept really good in here this time, or the last ones you had.
Yeah. So, but that's all I do for that. So whenever I do that, I'll make sure there'll be a video out there somewhere.
Let's see. There was one up here that I seen.
And I seen somebody ask, how do we work and do all this and do homeschool too? So
never stop.
Just prioritize. We have to figure out, just priorities, things that can wait till tomorrow and things got to be done right now. That's my biggest advice for anybody is, So
it also helps as well because,
I'm part-time.
She's part-time. And I mean, where I have my own thing going, my own business going, that was the main reason I cut back this year. So I would have time to be here. Right. And so my schedule is a little more flexible than somebody with a 9-to-5 job.
And I do home health. I'm a home health nurse. So I'm just as needed PRN, and I just kind of make my own schedule. And, it's very, very, very flexible.
JT West said, thanks for the tip. I actually can't take credit for that tip. Greg Key from Hoff's Tools is the one that taught me that. And so
we were down there, right?
I had learned it from a video he had put out before that, and then me and him were actually talking about onions. And I told him, I said, man, I couldn't grow an onion until I learned from you that they were heavy feeders and all that stuff. And yeah, so he's the one that I can give credit for on growing an onion. And ever since I started doing what he said, we've had some really nice onions.
Many years ago, did Sears ship chicken raised in Appalachian Mountains, East Tennessee? Do you ever garden according to moon signs?
We try to.
That's something that we honestly, I wish
we could do more of.
I wish I'd have paid more attention to my papa.
Yeah, he knew all about that stuff.
Like when I was growing up, my papa passed when I was 12, but man, he didn't walk out the door if the signs wasn't right. He had a sign for everything, for the planting and for the gardening and stuff. And you know, you look back, hindsight's 2020. I never really paid attention. There's a couple of things I remember that he used to say, but you know, I wish I had that back, and I wish at 12 years old would have thought to ask Papa to teach me that.
We still. Well, let me get this. I'm gonna show it. I know. I about tripped over that pad.
Y'all about saw Andy hit the floor.
How do I get that down?
It's just on a nail.
So y'all tell us, does everybody around know what this is? That's a Raymond Brownie calendar. If you don't know what that is, or if maybe you can check your local hardware store or whatever, but all the hardware store and farm stores around here give those out every year. And they have all the signs and everything on them for, you know, time for planting and all that. But we try our best to plant by the signs of what we know anyway.
Right.
But the thing of it is when you do work like we do, sometimes you just have to do it when you got time to do it.
That's right.
And so it's just like our potatoes this year. We did not plant our potatoes by the signs this year.
We were a couple of days early, so we're going to see.
We're going to see if it makes a difference or not. But, you know, we just had to do it when we could do it because it was rain coming in, and I knew that if we didn't get them then I didn't know when we'd ever be able to go get them.
Right.
Right there's one. I go by the weather. And most of the time, that's the way it works for us, too. You have to work around what Mother Nature's going to let you do.
Well, because like the dirt here, which I know, you know, a lot of y'all's dirt is like this too, but I mean, like it rained last night. How much it rained last night?
We had, I think it was either 6 tenths or 8 tenths. I
see
forget.
there, even just that right there, it's going to be questionable
to whether we can even get in the garden.
Yeah, working the land this weekend.
So it depends on the land. Like our garden out here beside the house, it drains really good. It's a different type of soil out there, and you can work it. But then our gardens up the road where it's all that red land, you know, that stuff, you can't work red land when it's wet. You're going to make a mess.
Somebody said stick that calendar back up there again so they can see it.
Oh.
Plant root crops on dark nights. That's, and above ground on
light nights. That's CC Moore and Son. That's a local hardware store in Lawsonville. But
they can see the Raymond.
Oh, yeah. I thought I had it down.
There we go.
But that's just the guy, you know, that's just the store name there. That ain't really got nothing to do with this calendar.
What you're looking for is a Raymond Brownie calendar.
That right there. And so what they do is, you know, they'll just print the name of the store on there. But all of our local hardware stores around have these calendars.
Breaking New Roots. And how much do you guys get from your garden each year?
A lot. Usually more than we need.
Enough for us and enough to share.
Yep.
We
love. I love gardening. I think you could probably call gardening my passion. Like that's the one thing that I would do no matter what. And I just love doing it. And I've always wanted to grow, just watch it grow. And we always have way more than what we need. And you always plant way more than what you need. And then even though you already know you got more than what you need planted, you still go and plant more.
We're bad about that.
But it's just, I just love to do it. Like I said, if nothing else, like I would always garden to some extent, no matter what the situation was.
But yeah, we it's a hard one to answer because like, so this year I went down there and I looked at for example, what we were talking about the October beans earlier. I only got 2 jars left of October beans. We didn't plant that many last year because I had October beans left from the year before. So now this year we're going to plant a lot more, so I can put up a lot more because I'm almost out. So that's kind of how we.
And green beans we didn't plant many of last year.
Yeah, and I'm gonna need some more of them this year.
Are we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
means we got to pick green beans this year.
And somebody said the almanac teach you all the signs and how to plant crops or even take care of farm animals by the signs. Yeah, I've got an almanac that I look at sometimes. I need to do that. I need to look at that. And I also read a lot of the Foxfire books, and they've got some of, about the signs and stuff in some of those. If you're interested in like all things Appalachia and history and stuff like that, and you've never heard of the Foxfire books,
yeah, check them out.
Well, even if you don't care nothing about Appalachia and you like history and want to know how to do stuff the old way, like the Foxfire books are, oh my gosh.
I done seen this question come up a couple times. I need to answer it before it goes away again.
Okay.
The best pig breed. Okay, so there was a woman in here earlier that we get our hogs from, and I wouldn't never say go with one specific breed. You always want to cross, especially if you're looking for a meat pig. Ours, gosh, he told me the other day, and I've done forgot they were. Let me look back and see if I can find that text message of what he sent me, what the cross was. But let's see, right here. So he says that ours were Hampshire crossed with Duroc.
I thought they looked like they had some Duroc.
Yeah, Duroc and Hampshire cross. He actually said that our pigs got bred, that the mama to our pigs got bred by two boars on the same day. And so one boar is the daddy to half of them, and one boar is the daddy to the other half. And he said he knows because of the way the pigs look.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's a thing with pigs.
That's the weirdest
If they get bred the same day, they can have two different daddies to the litter of pigs. At least that's what he told me. And I think I'm pretty sure I've heard that before.
That's interesting.
But anyways, yeah, with a meat pig, you always want to get a cross. Like I've had cross with Landrace and Yorkshires and Berkshires and Durocs. I mean, any of that stuff is going to make you a good meat pig. Now, if you're looking for a lard pig, that's a little different story. But if you're after a meat pig,
which we got 6 that we do, but
you make plenty of lard from them. But a lard pig itself, like, will have this thick of a fat layer
with
on its back.
With a little tiny tenderloin.
And a little tiny tenderloin, yeah. I don't much care for a lard pig. What kind of green beans?
Feels like preferences in pigs could start a war. We grew some one year. What was them called? Landrace. Now them was some good.
They were long hogs.
Yeah, they was.
But for whatever reason, the meat in those was a lot whiter meat than what's in normally.
And we raised them the exact same way we raised any other ones. But they were some good pigs. Though. They were pretty.
We grow. Somebody asked what kind of green beans we grow. We grow jade bush beans, and then we like. Kentucky we just recently discovered in the last few years that we like Kentucky Wonder pole beans. I absolutely love them Kentucky Wonders. Like, I think if I could only plant one green bean,
the Kentucky Wonder,
it would be the Kentucky Wonder. Yeah. Those are some good beans.
Now we like to cook, with a big old chunk of meat in there, like a salt pork and a
piece of hog jaw or Midland meat or something.
And so them Kentucky Wonders, for whatever reason, buddy, they soak it up. Yeah, they are so good.
The Kentucky Wonders, in our experience, taste like whatever meat you cook them with. Man, they are so good.
Strike green beans. You ever heard of them?
I have heard of strike. I think is either somebody I used to know planted strike beans.
Kentucky Wonders heirloom since the 1800s. Well, that's cool.
They got it right.
Jades are best for canning. Now I do agree with that because the jades don't have them strings you got to fight with and everything else.
Jades are a good, easy to grow bean.
They're not fun to pick.
Yeah, they just suck picking them. Like if you've got plenty of raised bed space, I would recommend planting them in a raised bed so you ain't got to bend over to pick them. But, man, jades will put off some beans, too.
Yeah, and they'll keep putting off.
Yeah, they keep putting off. If you keep them picked, they keep putting off beans.
But you got to keep them picked.
Yep, until it gets really hot in the middle of the summer, and they may quit then, depending on where you're at.
But then we had some quit. No, that was the Kentucky Wonders. They quit
and putting off, and then they come back out. Like, we thought those things were dead. And they ended up putting on some new growth when it cooled off.
They put out better beans in the fall than they did in the spring.
Yeah, we did. They did.
Focus on green beans with a special Whole beans over bush beans.
Well, that's one thing. You're right about that, but that's one thing I've noticed about the jade beans is they do just continue putting off. I think they put off just as much as the Kentucky Wonders do. What is it?
Breaking New Root said, "Is there going to be a video this summer of Andy eating a tomato sandwich?"
I don't know if it is. We probably won't be putting it on video.
Y'all probably don't want to see his face.
I don't know. It may be better than I expected to be.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Thank you for answering. You're welcome. I hope I helped you on that. I'm not a pig expert. I'm just honestly.
That's what people grow around here.
We just grow pigs, and we buy pigs from places, and that's what we've had good luck with. And the people we buy pigs from tell us that that's what you want, and so that's really as far as I can take it. I'm not an expert on pigs at all.
But we like pork.
However, I can tell you, if you want a big pig, you got to feed the thing. They will eat. Let them have access to unlimited feed, and you will grow a pig.
When we get close to hog processing, so these pigs, they'll grow till November, till last week in November. And when they get right there around October, they're eating 50 pounds a day? How many sacks you had to put in there?
Well, our 6.
Well, it's 6. Yeah, they
our 6 pigs eat a 50-pound sack a day.
Right there at the end. So right there, we're like ready for them to go.
we have to grind feed. We grind about, once our pigs really get going and eating good, we grind about 2,000 pounds of feed every 2 weeks. But that feeds my pigs and my daddy's pigs and my sister's pigs. So, that's feeding a lot of pigs.
Oh, good. Mary said, thanks to your video, I found October Beans. Hoss had them. I fell in love with them last year. Yes.
Good.
And so we talked to Greg. And so if you're looking for October Beans this year, because they got 50 different names, but under his website now, there's Supremo beans.
It's a different variety, but it's still the same
October
bean.
beans. What people around here call them October beans. Some people call them cranberry beans. Some people call them Tapazio beans, horticulture beans.
Taylor horticulture beans is another name.
Yeah, like there's so many names for them,
but there actually is a binding variety, like a pole variety of October beans. But for whatever reason, we don't have good luck with those. So the bush beans do a lot better for us on those October beans.
What's our favorite tomato to grow?
And another one,
pink Brandywines, I think, for flavor.
If y'all don't know the Hoss Tools people or know about their website or anything like that, did you link that into the description of this?
Uh-uh.
Well, there will be a link in the description to take you straight to it if you want to go there. But anyways, they're good folks. It was awesome going down there. I hope we get to go back sooner or later. Stephanie, I'm glad y'all like the October beans.
Let's see.
Our October beans poll. That's what I was just talking about. You may have asked that question before I said that. I don't know what variety of October beans is a pole bean, but that's the one we don't have good luck growing. The bush beans, we have a better look at them for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't. Them ones we planted at one time, they didn't do.
I mean, nothing. we planted the pole beans for a very long time, and each year we would hardly get enough
to even eat them.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to do it. I am so slow.
Saw your chicken slaughter video processing a long video. That was great. Reminded me of my grandmother.
Thank you.
Zipper peas are the best. I've never eaten zipper peas. My neighbor out here, he planted some last year, and they really liked them. My grandmother from Kentucky called them October beans. That's what we always called them, was October beans.
I don't know why. Like, Jacob is very technical, and he's like, "Why you call them October beans? We're picking them in July." And I was like,
"It don't make no sense."
I was like, "I don't know, honey, but that's what they're called."
I don't know. Maybe in the old days they planted them at a time when you would actually pick them in October. I don't know, but.
So the link that I'm going to share in this video will be our affiliate link to Hoss. So
we do, yeah.
Yeah, so they, since we went down there and everything, we talked about it. And So we do earn just a tiny bit of commission off of anything if you do purchase it through our link through the House's website. Now it's the same exact price for y'all.
For y'all, yeah, you never know you've done anything different.
But it does help us out just a little bit. Now, how the heck do I get to this video?
Some Goliath Crowder peas. I've heard of those, but making your cowboy candy pickled eggs. Yeah, so we're still eating on the ones from that video, actually. And they are good. They get better with age. Hello from wild and wonderful West Virginia. Love Crowder.
One of my favorite states.
Have y'all ever had meat rabbits? No, we don't, but my sister grows meat rabbits. And so if we ever need a rabbit, we go see her. You ever plant sun gold tomatoes? You ever plant? I ain't never heard of a sun gold tomato.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I've never planted them. Mississippi purple hull peas. That's one of my favorites right there too. We had a lot of rain pass.
Have you ever thought about bees?
We had a hive of bees down here one time, and a bear tore the hive all to pieces. My neighbor who used to live out over here in this other house right past us had a hive here. He's big into bees, and so that's another reason why we don't fool with bees, because he's a good friend and local, and we get our honey from him.
Yep. Let's see. Well, let's see.
We've been on here an hour and 15 minutes. Yep. It's about time to call it.
Yeah, y'all, I guess we're going to call it a night. We appreciate all y'all joining us tonight. We love to do these lives occasionally. Sometimes we don't do them as much as we'd like to, but, it's a little more personable side of us, unedited.
Yeah. Thank you, Miss Sharon.
Yes, thank you, Miss Sharon, for all your help tonight. Thank you so much.
I know, Tommy. I can't believe there's over 400 people watching this live either. I never thought we would ever put up a live and there would be over 400 people in it.
Y'all make me want to cry.
I never in my wildest dreams
Thank y'all
imagined
so much.
that.
Thank y'all so much. And like I've said a couple times during the live, just know that we do read every single comment on the videos. We may not be able to reply to all of them, but we do read them, and they are so encouraging, and we appreciate everybody's kind words and everybody's support. And, just watching the videos, we just really appreciate y'all doing that.
Yeah, she shared her Instagram links too.
Thank you, Miss Sharon.
And Facebook. That's the Facebook group. Yeah, boy. How do you stay on it like that?
But again, y'all, so I guess we're going to call it a night tonight. Thank you, everybody that's commented, and y'all have a wonderful weekend. Don't work too hard.
Hey, and send her a comment or a message or something and tell her she needs to be on this second cookbook.
I just gotta do it.
I know. You gotta find time. I know you don't have time.
But anyways, guys, we hope y'all have a wonderful night. And anyways, be looking forward to Monday's video. It will be out Monday morning. Yep. And anyways, y'all have a good one.
We'll see y'all later.